to me, culture just identifies who I am as an individual from Tuvalu. When we wear our traditional skirts, when we go out to the international platforms and show our cultures, they're able to know who we are because of the things that we wear, our faateles, you know, our traditional dance. And to me, culture just ties down to, it just roots me. I think I can start off by saying when we prepare costumes for our traditional dances, we get it from our land. We get it from the fala, pandanus. We get the smell of our head garlands. We get it from the environment. And just as the other brother mentioned about the ponu ponu, you know, just getting things from the environment to help craft our traditional Itaia. I think that's what connects us to the land. But now all of that changed because of climate change. You know, my grandfather, he comes from a long line of fishermen. You know, there's different people with different, in Tuvalu, in the families who have different responsibilities and roles. So my grandfather came from a family of fishermen. So they were able to determine from the different changes of the seasons where you could fish from this place. But because of climate change, you know, the changes, it completely changed our environment. We cannot rely on these traditional knowledge because of how changed the environment is. It's no longer reliable, you know, even with the natural disasters, the tropical cyclones that we have. The dates are from November to April, you know, but now it varies, it changes. So we could no longer rely on our traditional knowledge. You know, they were connected to the land, but because of these changes, we could no longer rely on these traditional knowledge because of climate change. So it ties to everything as a Tuvalu, as a young person. Worrying about how our children will grow up, worrying about will they learn the same things that we did, worrying about will they be able to grow up in Tuvalu, on the land, and know firsthand the connection that we share with our land, with our sea, and just the communal lifestyle that we have, you know? So climate change completely and devastatingly affects every aspect of a Tuvaluan person. Why does it have to be our people that have to suffer the most when it comes to the impacts of climate change? You know, and looking at that scenario, looking at what happened, and then thinking back on the final text agreement that was released at COP, just makes me furious. It made me really furious because they're not here witnessing and experiencing the same things that we're going through. But I would really like to take that part from COP, because that was quite a blow to us Pacific people. I would just like to add that with the COP final statement, there were mentions of, you know, renewable energy, 1.5 degrees, but that wasn't enough. And I feel like COP28 failed the Pacific people, the people who are impacted the most by climate change, people who are living on the front lines of climate change. And I hope with this ICJ advisory opinion, these leaders won't fail us. Because if they do make the decision, that decision impacts us, the current generation. What if they pass on? You know, they pass on, and then it's given, we are with that, given that responsibility and heavy burden to correct the mistakes that they made. And my advice to them, if they even hear it, would be to consider us. This is the time where they can contribute greatly to the youths of today. This is the time where they can repay the current generation for all the things that they did not take into consideration in the past years that eventually led us to this situation. I think that's what I'd say.